welcome to Authority TV. I am Nikki Woods and I am your host today. I am also the CEO of Nikki Woods Media, where we help create authorities. And so that's all about owning your lane, being the number one expert, leading the pack, and not just being a part of it. And today I want to focus on the foundation of authority, and that is telling your story. Now, telling your story is really hard for a lot of people because, one, you have to be authentic and transparent, and you have to be vulnerable, and that can be difficult. But it really is about connecting with your audience through the heart and not the head. A lot of us as experts, we want to just throw our knowledge at you and throw like our titles around. But what really connects us to our clients, to our speaking audience, to those people who buy our books, to those who want to hear us during other media opportunities, is our heart. And so you have to be open and share that. And once you figure out how to put your story together, how you're going to expose your heart, you then have to pitch it. And so today we are going to talk to actor, director, producer, writer, pitching coach, and now author Squeaky Moore about how we can better share our story. Woo, we got Squeaky.
Oh my God. I'm like, what is going on? Hey.
You talk about stalling for your life. I tell you, this is real TV. This is like live TV. This is what happens sometimes in live TV.
Hey.
I am so super excited to talk to you. I gave you a phenomenal introduction. You just happened to miss it. But we're going to get quite into the questions. Tell me about this. I call it a movement because 100 pitches, that's a lot. Tell us about the journey and how you got to the 100 pitches.
So I started pitching content. 2013 was my first pitch. It was with BET. I was really bold to go and get it. And so that particular pitch, as all of them, it went to the next levels and went to the next steps. And in that particular case, I asked for a non-disclosure agreement, and everything was shut down at that point. That's a long conversation that I'm not going to get into right now because it's not about that. But that took me down to the ground, right? And so, like, I was so down. I mean, in my mind, I saw my mansions. I was driving around in this hot red car like that. And for that project not to go all the way, it really took me down. And to make a long story short, I would notice that was what started out a trend would be that I would feel dejected. I would shelve the project and not even see it, start working on something else and not see the light of day of an amazing project for 7-8 months.
Right.
And it got to a point that I realized, I said, if I'm going to be successful, I don't have that type of time to put my projects on hold because I feel like I've been rejected.
Right.
And so, in order to be great, I went on this journey to pitch 100 times. And I just do this arbitrary, I'm gonna pitch 100 times. And it was really just because I wanted to rise above rejection. And I wanted to learn how to master pitching. What I had already realized about myself is that I had a natural instinct for pitching, to tell stories, which is really what pitching is about. And I had that natural instinct to do that. And I also realized that I had a natural instinct for development, to develop ideas through to fruition. And so I had a gift to see the big picture. Right. But I would feel I just wanted to master the art of pitching, and I wanted to rise above. I wanted to be able to face rejection so well that I just get back in the game really quickly. And so I went on this journey to pitch 100 times. On that journey, it was my very first pitch while on the journey. Now, I had previously pitched, but on the journey, it was my first pitch. It was going well, like they all do. They go well, and I could tell that she was interested, and she asked me for materials that I didn't have ready.
Okay.
And I then went on another journey because now I have to get these materials ready. And I'm asking everybody, do you know what she's asking? Do you know? And I mean, I asked at least 30 people for help, and they didn't know. And I realized we were faking it. all of us, we're just faking it until we make it. We're just doing bits and pieces at a time until we make it. And that frustrated me so much that I knew I wanted to, in my mind, I was like, I'm going to write a pamphlet about pitching. I don't care if I can reach one person and help one woman out, one woman like me. It was on the heels of Oscar So White. And I was like, if I can reach one woman, I'm going to help somebody to pitch. And that's what really started my journey, because I didn't want to go in. And I just felt like most of us, especially minorities and women, we're not able to get seats at the table because we don't know what we're doing. And, or we're faking it, and and that's good, but for only so long. And it just became my mission to help people to pitch themselves, to pitch their products, to pitch their content, so that more stories are seen and told. And I'm helping people have seats at the table.
Okay, now you said a lot, and I really want that's okay. That's okay. I say a lot too. But I just want to go back because I think that even for people who are not interested in being like the next Shonda Rhimes or Tyler Perry in that particular field, I think even as entrepreneurs, we're always pitching too. Whether it is we're launching a course, we're all always pitching. So I definitely want to talk about that. But I really want to start with the rejection piece of it, because I'm a little surprised that you said that, only because being in the entertainment business, I think that we all have to learn very early on to have that thick skin. It's like I talk to people all the time that have never walked that journey. And really, I mean, it's like, it's us. Everything we do is us. And so if people say no to us, it's like they're rejecting us and who we are. And so how long did it take for you to really develop that toughness to kind of just let the rejection roll off your back?
I'm going to say about 2 years. And I don't know if I've mastered it. I have a different perspective about rejection, or about the word no, or we pass. It's going to be a pass for us. I have a different perspective. And I don't believe that when I'm told no, or when something doesn't go right, I don't believe that it's a loss. I believe it's still a win, because no matter what, no matter whose door I go into and who I'm meeting and chatting with, I know that I'm fully prepared. I know that I'm a great storyteller. I know that I'm laying all of the information out on the table. And so at the end of the day, what I'm being told is, listen, it's an open door policy with you. You can come through my doors anytime, because they know that I'm not wasting their time. And really, everything is a relationship game. So what's no today, tomorrow, and the next idea is going to be yes. I just need to be able to establish and build on the relationship. So my perspective has shifted over 2 years of time, as far as rejection is concerned. But one big piece, and I may be giving way to one of my top 5 things that you need to do in order to pitch, but the biggest piece is where your head game is, right? You can't go in and sell anything. I don't care what you're selling. And I just want to note that a lot of my clients, Nikki, are entrepreneurs, people with product, people that are going in to pitch investors or venture capitalists. Those are a lot of my clients, believe it or not. It's random how that happened, but they are. And so it's really about where your head space is, right? And the confidence that you have. Before I would go into a situation and I'm doubting and I don't value what I have, or I'm questioning, am I a great storyteller? Is this something good? And so you can't show up right in doubt, right? You just can't show up. And so over those 2 years, I went from pitching to offering an opportunity.
Okay, now we got to stop, because you said 2 things that I want people to stay with. Okay. I don't want them to forget this, because you said really 2 big things. One is no really is not no.
No.
For you anyway. It's either not now for them or not with them. And that no shouldn't stop anybody. And I think that is such a mindset shift, because even when I teach people how to pitch the media, it's, people will get a no, they'll send that one email, they'll get a no, and then they'll go sit in the corner. And I'm just like, that, in anything in life, that is just not the way it works. And then the other thing is that your mindset is everything. I had a call this morning. I do these things called success sessions where we kind of talk about the mindset of success because it is huge. It is huge. And your mindset will shut everything down for you. If you have limiting self-beliefs, and, this is why we is I think, people, and mainly African Americans, we refuse to invest in ourselves because we see it as a price tag, and as opposed to an investment in building the future. And so we look at something, we're like, oh, I can't do that, but we don't look at what the return on the investment is going to be. We're looking at it as just kind of like this one-time sale and not really investing in our future. And I think that, for you, teaching people how to pitch, and like you said, I'm not surprised at all that most of your clients are like entrepreneurs, because every time, we open our mouth, we're offering an opportunity for someone to invest in. And so I love that terminology as opposed to pitching and to operate. If we all looked at what we had, our gifts, our values, our knowledge is opportunities for investment, that changes. You stand up a little bit straighter.
It takes you back. It's like, whoa, let me.
It's opposed to trying to sell something. And I think for people, because I always tell people, like, I'm not a salesman. I just know what I can do. And so, but to think of it that way is me always offering an opportunity for people to invest in themselves and build their future, build their business. That just changes everything. That is so good, Squeaky.
Thank you. And I just think that, I think it's an 80-20, believe it or not. I think it's 80% where your head is and 20% once you sell, because again, my journey on development, this whole self-development piece took about 2 years, and it's still an ongoing journey. I still have to work on it every morning at 5 a.m. Let's just be very clear. I get up at 5 a.m. to work on my head game, because I know that I have big goals, and I know that on my to-do list, it ain't no small crap on there. It's like I'm trying to reach out to CEOs. I'm trying to reach out to partner with corporations and all of these different things, right? Or I'm trying to sell I'm trying to offer people opportunities. And that takes a lot. Like by the time I actually get on the phone to sell myself or to offer this opportunity, I'm ready to jump off a bridge, because I've said over 100 affirmations. I've meditated, I've talked this whole success thing to myself. It's a ritual, that you kind of have to put in place. But one thing that I realized on this journey was that, as spiritual as I'd like to say I am, I had the faith of an atheist.
Like, you can explain that.
Like I had no faith, or my faith was so blind. My faith was so blind.
I thought you got so deep, I didn't even understand it. Okay, I got it.
No, like I didn't believe. I didn't believe in the God that I said, that I thought, that I followed, that I believed in. I didn't believe in that. And not only that, but I didn't value myself. I didn't value the years of experience. I still questioned it. You know what I'm saying? And so those affirmations and that morning ritual was imperative to rise to the occasion, so that I can set out literally every single day, even to just get on this live with you. I have to be in the right space to sell myself and to sell my tips, right? I believe them, but will they believe them? And then, I just really want to connect at the end of the day. Thanks, Daryl. But really, it takes a while to get into the headspace, and I believe that that's a much larger percentage than actually selling what you have to sell.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, it's really like a tricky business when what you do is so much a part of who you are. Like I can't show up and not help somebody. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's not really about me making money from it. It's about me providing value, because I know that's what I'm here to do. And so, like you, I mean, it's at the end of the day, I just want to connect and I want to make a difference. I want to make an impact. So it's funny to have a conversation with somebody who thinks so similarly. I'm up at 5'2", but I'm working on my mind and my thighs. Okay.
Right. Absolutely. I don't want to go into that. That's another long conversation.
But I just love it. So let's just talk, because I know that your time is, valuable, I want to make sure people get what they come from. Let's talk about a few of the common mistakes that people make. We talked about the mindset, but what about, and this is another thing that I think that people are afraid of. They're afraid if they show up and they give too much, that they're going to lose out because there's nothing else to buy into. And I have found that with sharing on social media and sharing in blog, people are like, you tell so much. But what is your thought on that when it comes to pitching?
Well, they may be different. I just feel like I, like you, give a lot of information out. And I just believe that, first of all, if I'm the secret sauce, right? You're the secret sauce.
Right.
And so I can give as much information out, but it's like it's like having a math book. All of the information is in there, but people still need the teacher to help them put it all together, right? And so, I don't hoard information because there's always more where there came from. It's, no matter, I can be given the pieces to the puzzle, and I still have to narrow it down for each individual to make it more specific to their project, their product, their business, what they're selling, their story, their content, right? So it changes. It's going to change no matter what. And I, the anointing that I have, it's there, and it can't really be. It can't. It's just mine. It's my anointing.
So, but what about the thought of pitching an idea versus pitching a fully developed
concept? So, as far as pitching is concerned, well, that's one of the biggest common mistakes, is that many people go in and they pitch just this idea. When think about all of the ideas that we have, Nikki. So many that we do absolutely nothing with, right? You can't go to someone, or you shouldn't go to someone saying, I was thinking that, I had this idea and I was going to, it was like this. And it's just as simple. And so when they start asking you questions and you haven't really fully developed the concepts or anything behind the project, or you haven't really done the work, then you're going to fall flat. And then you're wasting your time, right? First impressions are 100% the best impressions. You might not get the opportunity the second time, right? And even, again, if they say no, they say no. That's neither here nor there. The point is that you showed up prepared and ready, right? But if you don't show up prepared, you may not get that opportunity again. You won't be able to walk through that door. So the idea of preparation, or being fully prepared or fully developed through and through, it can lose you the deal. In a situation where I had someone go up, and they're on TV, mind you, they're going up on national television on one of those pitching shows that are nationally aired. And it was one thing that came out in our pitching and our coaching sessions. I said, what's your product? What's the price? What's the retail price? How much does it cost? And she was like, well, I typically about $40 to $50. And I'm like, well, which one is it? Let's talk about it. Right. And I said, listen, before you go up there, I don't care what you need to do. If you need to go to the store and price every single item, you need to do that. And I believe that was the very thing that lost her. She passed one round or two rounds, but I think that was the thing that lost her the deal. She didn't have that ready. And so we have to be fully prepared with these different, we have to do the work.
No, absolutely. I think that for me, you can always tell when somebody's not quite sure. And that energy is so apparent. And it's like because I coach people on television, presentation and that sort of thing. And you can tell when somebody's nervous and they're hesitant, and that makes you nervous and hesitant. And you can't really make a decision, whether it's a purchasing decision or whatever kind of a relationship, if you're nervous and you're hesitant. So
no one's going to swear on you. No one's going to invest in you, not even time, if you're not fully developed, fully sure, fully thought through.
So, and I don't even know, because like with me, I tell people all the time, if you come to me with a great idea, like you have a great idea for an interview or whatever, even if I can't necessarily use it, because obviously time and, it's limited. You can't put everything on. If it's great, not only will I remember you and hopefully develop a relationship like you said, but I'll refer you. Like if I know of another producer that could use you on their show or something like that, I will refer you. Does that work like that in the TV and film industry?
I think so. On that very first pitch that I told you about, I remember the guy who was just in LA with, I was just in LA with last week. He, when we met, and he liked us, he wanted to take us up to the next level, but he said something like, listen, if this doesn't work out for us at BET, I want to be able to refer you to different agents, to different managers, so again, that opens the door. They'll refer you out. They'll allow you to. Right now, I get a lot of people saying, you know what, I want to introduce you to this person, or hey, that idea that you have, it's not good for this network, but it's going to be great for Vice. Can you change it up and make it more on the lines of Vice style? So you'll get people, if they connect to you and if they like you, people will they'll definitely give a hand, because now they believe in you. They believe that it's like one of those things where you don't introduce somebody and you don't reach out to get somebody a job when you know that they're flaky, right? No. But if you know you can trust them, you're like, absolutely, I'll put you in contact with the head of this department.
But even beyond that, I mean, I think the entertainment business is so tight knit, and I mean, everybody knows everything and everybody and everything. And sometimes it can work against you, because people will, in cocktail conversations say, what, this girl pitched me today and she did not have her stuff together. And then they say, oh, what's this girl's name? And then they tell the girl, and then all of a sudden everybody knows that you came in unprepared.
Oh, I mean, my God, I hope that, well, thankfully I pray, and I just don't believe that that's ever been one of my common mistakes, my mistakes that I've made. But yeah, I mean, again, that's just a closed door. You always have to think everything we do. First of all, we're always pitching.
Yes.
Whether it's intentional or not, we're always pitching. We're pitching ourselves. And pitching, I look at it as it's always an interview. You're always being interviewed. I'm being interviewed by 21 people right now, right? Or however many people that were on earlier. Like, it's all about the interview. You never know how someone's going to connect you or ask you to come on and do something. So you always got to be ready to pitch. You have to be, prepared.
Absolutely. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. We're going to have Squeaky for a few more minutes. I know that you also said one thing, before when you were talking about maybe it's not right for this network, but another network. Do you have to tweak pitches to fit certain networks? Or?
Absolutely. So number 2 on my list, well, it should be probably number 1, is research, right? I like to say that I'm a stalker. I'm a professional stalker. I stalk everything, everybody. I was taught by someone to stalk the money, follow the money, especially like investors. You follow the money. What charities do they give to? What events do they show? What benefits do they show up at? Because it tells you where their heart is. But for every single pitch that I do all of the research. I research the person. I research what they love. I'm on every social media that they have, stalking them out. I'm reading articles and interviews that they did, because you never know what you can find out. And how I use that research is I build it into the pitch. Sometimes I'm very direct with it. Oh my God, I loved what you did in blah, 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 blah. Because we're all, human. We all have our insecurities. It's nothing better than to hear that someone has researched you, they've really been following you, and they like something you do.
We have our insecurities and we have our egos. And that's what I tell people.
And our egos, right?
They underestimate the size of the ego that you have to be in the entertainment business. And I'm not saying that in a negative sense.
Absolutely. You never know. And so to tell someone that they've done something awesome, and to literally be like, not just general, right? Because to say, oh my God, I think you're so awesome. Okay. That's easy to say. But when you can pull out dates and times and projects that the world don't know, they're not universal, everybody don't know about, and say, oh my God, I'm so looking forward to blah, 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 that's coming out in 2019. How did you do? Like, that type of stuff is like, dang, like, oh, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, oh, they've done. So you've engaged them. Now they're engaged because they know you've looked them up, you know what you're talking about. But in a non-intentional, very passive way, I like to infuse my research because to connect here, right? If these people are dog lovers, right? But no one would, outside of their friends, would know. But because I've really stalked them out, and it was this one random interview that they did, and he talked about his 4 dogs. And my projects has something to do with dogs, or my business has something to do with dogs. Like, I'm looking for those things that make our missions conjoined, or our work meet or align. And then I somehow infuse that into my pitch.
But it is a fine line, because I've had people that have stalked me on social media, and I always appreciate people doing their research, but you don't want to seem like a stalker when you use that research.
So you got to use your instinct. You have to use your instinct. That's why I say it's not very direct when I do it. If I'm talking about it, I may be saying, I love dogs. And so this product that I've created is about, it really helps the dog and the pet owner to blah, 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 the pet and the pet owner to blah, blah. It's just using it strategically within your pitch so that they can go, oh my God, I feel the same way. Oh my God, yeah. Or, whatever they're thinking, it's a way to connect to them. And so I use my research in connecting.
So Squeaky's book is available on Amazon. You can definitely pick it up. And you can also learn more about Squeaky and all the stuff that she's doing. She's doing live events. We're going to do one in Dallas in 2018 and Houston in 2018 that I'm really excited about. But she's been to Chicago, LA. She is moving and shaking, and you can get all that information by subscribing to her list on squeakymore.com. You can also purchase the book there, but it is available on Amazon. And so I know that there's a lot more that goes into all of this, but one interesting things that I thought we should definitely talk about before I let you go is the whole concept of breaking the rules.
Okay.
Should you or should you not break the rules? Should you be a maverick or no?
You definitely have to break the rules. Okay. You have to break the rules. Because no one has ever gotten where they're going to get just by abiding by the laws, unfortunately. And so, and I've had people like in high places tell me like, oh my God, girl, you can't just go by the rules, and not if you're going to get to me, because you'll never get to me if you're going by the rules. And so some of the pitches that I've made, okay, I'm gonna give 2 separate instances. My very first pitch, I went to the president of BET, stalked her out, found the email, went to the president, gave the praises. And in my book, I list like 7 ways that people can create these emails, right? 7 different ways to create emails to contact people. So one of the things was praise. I give this praise, and then I go on and I give a little bit of information, because you can't give too much or else it's a legal affairs is going to come, at you. And I get in. So she was like, oh, I can't come on as executive producer, but why don't you pitch BET? And she CCs the person that I'm supposed to pitch. And I'm like, wow. This is done. Of course, the person on the lower end of the totem pole is going to take the pitch but breaking the rules was going to the top, right? Like, how many of us, especially if we're not in our right, if our minds are not right, it takes a big set of balls to go to the top, to bypass all of the avenues just to get to the top. And I'm a big believer, and I don't always do that, but if I have I follow my instinct, and it was like, you know what, just go to the top here. Yeah. And so I had to break that rule. I had to, I'm not represented by an agent. I'm not represented by a manager, and many people cannot get through doors, or that's their biggest thing. Like, how do I get through these doors if I don't have an agency or and that stops them. The fact that they don't have it, either they just spend their time seeking that agent or that manager, or they just don't reach out. And I'm like, I ain't waiting for an agent and a manager. I can do this. I'm about to reach. Let me figure out. Let me do my research, my stalking, and figure out how I can reach who's in my network, right? Who's in my network that can do a soft introduction. But otherwise, I'm still breaking the rules, which I'm going to go ahead on and tell this rule.
Okay.
I don't even know if I should be telling people this, but I do tell people that I'm coaching, like, girl, you better. So in one of my breaking the rules, it's like sometimes there's only 3 extensions to an email, right? Like it can be a .com, a .org, and I'm like, let me BCC all of them. Maybe let's see if this is one of the rules. Let me see if this could possibly, it's the first name, last name, So
true.
Unfortunately, that's sometimes one of the rules that I have broken. Let me just go through this and see if this is something that can get me through. Again, in another situation recently, I tried to play fair. I went to an SVP and I went to an EVP at this entertainment corp to try to offer them an opportunity. I found a loophole and I was like, they need to fill this or else it's going to be bad. Let me offer them this opportunity. And I knew the people and they did not reply to me to set up a meeting. And I have a private group. It's called the Pitch 101. And by the way, that's the other, if you want pitching tips and things like that, I have a website, a blog. It's called the pitch101.com, the pitch101.com. And it is connected to squeakymore.com. So you can find it either way. But I have a lot of tips on there. So I go on to this private Facebook group for people that have bought into my workshops and things like that. And I go on and I say, you know what? I'm stepping out. I'm going big. I'm going all the way to the top, the CEO. And when I wasn't like showing face and my affirmations had wore off, I was like, maybe I shouldn't go to the CEO. I don't know about that. So I went to the SVP and I went to an EVP at this entertainment corporation. Nothing. I followed up, nothing. A week later, I said, why did I go to them? My instinct said, I had told people I was going to the CEO. Woke up, I had done my affirmations from 5 to 6. At 6, I felt this big energy. I said, you better reach out now while you feel bold enough to do it. Reached out to the CEO by using my emails, my breaking the rule type of,
right?
Let me see which one he is. 10 minutes later, he replies at 6 a.m., 6 something a.m. Like it's really early in the morning. And he said, oh, I think we should set you up with a meeting. And he put someone else on there that's up under him. And she was like, oh, by 12:10, kid you no lie, I had my meeting set up. So you just gotta break the rules sometimes.
Because, and breaking the rules, but I think that you also have to realize that your greatest support doesn't always come within your circle. No. And I think that's the hardest lesson for a lot of us to grasp. It's like the first people, they're the first ones you think are going to, offer you that opportunity or buy your book or tell, somebody else about it.
They're always the last.
It's
hurtful.
Psychology, it is hurtful, but I don't know the psychology behind that. But the sooner people realize that, the sooner they'll get out of the comfort zone and really start developing networks outside of their family and their friends. I mean, I think that our family and our friends mean well, but you can't just count on them to support your vision because it is your vision and it might not necessarily be for them to support. I mean, sometimes you have to go outside and find that system.
I've seen it. Listen, I just left Chicago. I don't know if anybody saw my Facebook Live, but I came on Facebook Live, not even preparing to cry. And I guess I got so emotional. It was like Facebook Live became my mom, when you're emotional and then you get it together and then your mom says, what happened, baby? And you and I was like, I'm going on. I had a message to tell, Facebook. I wanted to give them some steps to do when they feel this way, when this happens, when that family, those friends don't come through for you like you want them to. And got on there and I burst out into tears. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that I don't believe that your family and your friends or the people that are closest to you, they're not truly believers until a bunch of other people are believers. Unfortunately, they have to see it for themselves. And it's really unfortunate, but it happens. And so now I have a bunch of believers in my family and in my friends.
Absolutely. And even though I think that, because, my family, they are very supportive of me and, personally and who I am and, they believe in me, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are my ideal client for my business.
No, absolutely.
So when we rely on family and friends to be our ideal client, I think that's when we get disappointed. I mean, I think that a lot of people have family members that are like, yeah, go Nikki, but then buy my service or whatever, that's a different thing. And I think that we mesh the two. that we're
Yeah.
because they love us that they need to purchase everything from our business, and that's not necessarily the case. And I think that's where we disconnect and we get disappointed. So it's like I think as soon as people get that, it's good. So tell us, when is your next live event? Because I know you have one more coming up this year.
I had, well, it was just pushed. It was San Francisco, December the 6th. And we just, the person, it's the person that I work with, because I try to, like, I'm working with you and in Texas. Her brother just got really ill, and they gave him, unfortunately, 2 months. So she wanted to push it until January. I have so many things happening. Like this week, I'm speaking at Brick in Brooklyn, and I'm doing a pitch, practice your pitch fest, where people are actually just pitching the panel, and we're really critiquing their pitches. And then I'm in Atlanta, November 3rd and 4th for a Hers Only Pitch Fest for business owners.
Nice.
And then November 11th, I'm here in New York at the Activate conference, moderating a media panel with Lucinda Cross.
Yeah, that's
and so it's a lot of things I have coming up. But as far as my book release live event, it's going to pick back up in January, and I'm going to hit Texas, DC, Philly has been at it, San Fran. And then I want to go into really, really small markets, like where, this information is just not being offered in some small town outside of North Dakota. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to go into really, really tiny markets like that. So I'm gearing up for that.
And I'm glad you're doing it. And I said in the very beginning, and I'm glad we kind of reiterated this. I mean, this is not necessarily just for people who want to have, the next scandal. I mean, this really is for anybody who has to share what they do with somebody in hopes that they will, invest in the opportunity that is being offered. I mean, like you said, we are constantly pitching. Whenever we step on a stage, whenever we meet with a client, whenever we do a workshop, we're pitching something, even if it is just free information. We're pitching ourselves. So I think that it's extremely important that you have kind of stepped in, filled this space, because I think that, for those of us who are not actors, I think it takes an element of that to really be successful at pitching. So I'm glad that you have kind of filled that void. And so I'm just glad to be connected. I can't wait till you come to Texas.
And I can't wait too, but I do want to just say before I get off the phone, just to, if anyone is on here and they're looking to pitch something soon, it could be content, it could be a product or whatever. I do want to, if you don't mind me taking a few seconds just to give them some pointers that are, Squeaky, we get you in Detroit? Maybe Duvall, maybe we should get me in Detroit. I'm telling you, these cities keep adding on as I go on and on, but I'll consider Detroit. Some of the things that I want you to focus on is that, first of all, how you enter a room is very key. Yes. Making sure you're locking eyes with everyone, right? Making sure you've researched everybody that you're pitching, anybody who's going to be in the room. You may ask, am I just, pitching you, or will there be other people in the room? Because you want to be able to do the research so you can know who you're talking to. I'm sorry, Miss Selena. Maybe we do Miami, and then I can't do every single city, but we can migrate you over. I mean, you can go to Miami, so maybe Miami may be a key, but so you want to go in and you want to, I believe that after we've done our research, I think that every pitch should start with a statement of purpose. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you should state what you want, what it's about, what you're looking for. I'm being very general because we're talking to such a general audience, and I don't know what your pitches are. But if it's a statement of purpose, hey, I'm here because I'm looking for this amount of money, and I will do this amount of money in exchange for, if you were to invest in this product, this is what you'll get, return on investment, whatever. Or you might just state your purpose. I'm looking for you to potentially partner with me and give blah, 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 blah. Or I'm looking for sponsorship, or I'm looking for, product integration. I'm looking for someone to partner with me with product integration. Go in and state your purpose. And the reason I say that is because too many times we'll go in and we just go straight into our pitch. And the people that you're pitching, they're kind of like this because they're trying to place what you want for them. And now they're in their heads and they're missing out on what you have to say. But if you state what you want, then they can go, I know what I'm listening for.
Gotcha.
Right? They don't have to figure it all out, right? And so after you state, you explain your why. That's another key. Like explain your why. Explain your why or your product, its purpose, what its plan is to do. Like you want to, and this is in no particular order, but definitely you want to not leave. If it is content, you explain why you do something. Nikki, in this chat that we've been having, you've explained why you do what you do. Whether you mentioned, I don't have to get paid, but this is what I just really want to connect, blah, 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 blah. I oftentimes explain that my mission is to help women and minorities to pitch, to sell their stories so more diverse stories are seen on air. Explain your why because because you're connecting with people here, right? You want them hopefully already done the research and you know that this is something that you already have conjoint missions, right? So for you to explain that, it just lets them know that they're in the right place, they're listening to the right person, and they're connected, right? Because you guys are conjoined. If you can, explain any accomplishments that you have. Let's say you're pitching a product. This is my product, this and this. You just kind of want to throw it out there, so far I've sold over this many units, or, so far it's been on QVC, it's been on this, it's been on that, or, I won a few awards. I won 8 awards. This particular project has won 8 awards in film festivals like blah, 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 blah. But just explain some of your accomplishments, right? And just like I'm talking and I'm using my hands, you want to use your hands because that keeps them engaged, right?
Okay,
so these are very general, but I just wanted to leave. I didn't want to leave without giving some sort of tips. And I think I wrote another one up there. Oh, the number one key to pitching, and this is very general, is storytelling.
Yes.
You have to tell a story, and you have to start by telling a story, which is gonna include your why, right? So, this would happen, and I did this, and I just couldn't fit into these jeans, and it was so frustrating to me that I couldn't fit into the jeans, and I just never felt like going out. And then finally, I decided to create my own jeans, and that's how Fit All Jeans came about, or whatever. You want to go into telling a story, and storytelling is the key to pitching. If you don't walk away with anything, I hope you walk away with that one nugget. So yeah, again, if I can be of help, please reach out to me on squeakymore.com or thepitch101.com. There's many more tips on there that I give, and I just didn't want to leave without, giving some zip nuggets.
Super okay with that, and I am. Like I said, I'm just ready. And I'm excited that you were here. Yeah, I don't know where that feedback came in, but thank you. I think you fixed it. And so I appreciate you. I can't wait till you come to Texas. You can always log on to squeakymore.com and get more information. Absolutely pick up her book, because like I said, even if you're not, looking to create like a Shonda Rhimes type show, this will definitely help you as you look to grow in your business. I've already gotten a ton of value just listening to you talk about it. So I know I'm halfway through the book. I know that it's going to make a difference in how I show up for pitching. Now, I'm super excited about you, Miss Squeaky Moore. And so I dare say you will be coaching me on something very soon. So I appreciate you. And I thank you for taking the time to talk to us. That was good stuff, right? And so every Wednesday, we're going to be here with Authority TV, bringing you the experts, the entrepreneurs, and other people, leaders and influencers that you need to hear from in order to take your business to the next level. You can always log on and check out our website at www.nikkywoodsmedia.com. We are here to serve you, not in just getting more media for your business or creating your authority, but in all your entrepreneurial needs. www.nikkywoodsmedia.com, and catch us for the next edition of Authority TV.